Hey, what's happening? This is Grant Luna with Fidelity National Title. And for today's video, I'll be showing you 7 easy farm touches, mostly using Fidelity Total Farm as the foundation for getting homeowner information, data, and coming up with reasons to reach out to people. We'll also be using Fidelity Agent One, and that will be for coming up with materials that we can give to homeowners. And we'll be also using some other third-party applications such as handwrite.io for creating automated handwritten touches, just as an example. But overall, this video shows you the potential that Fidelity Total Farm has for coming up with unique but also valuable touches for homeowners. That way, you're given information that can help build that relationship. If you don't have Fidelity Total Farm or Fidelity Agent One, I would say they're must-have tools in your realtor toolkit. So there's links in the description for setup guides. They're easy to follow. Mostly free resources that will make your day-to-day as a realtor more effective, but also overall easier to manage. So now let's go into this farm. I'm going to choose farm 1. Now I have this farm created, 633 properties. So let's start with touch number 1. This will be personalized seller net sheets and rent versus buy calculators for the people that are living in properties that are non-owner occupied. So I've done a video on this before, but I'll run through it really quick for those that haven't seen it. What I can do is come into this farm and then maybe start to introduce myself to people in the farm area and say that I'm a realtor, just wanted to give them some market stats, let them know what their property would be worth, how much they would net if they sold the property based off their loan amount as well. So what I can do is press stats. Another option in terms of getting the average sales price in that area to use as a net sheet for all of these people is go to the MLS, draw the same map area and get the sales comps. This is kind of like a simpler way to do it. It's just not as specific, but this is the average 12 months sales price. So I'm just going to use that for this example. But like I said, the MLS, you'd probably get more recent data, more specific data as well, but we'll just run with this for the example. So this is saying in the last 12 months, this has been the average sales price in that farm area. So now what I can do for each of these people is for each of these addresses, get the address and then put it into a net sheet using Fidelity Agent One. So what I can do is go to Fidelity Agent One on the desktop, or I can do this on my phone, press seller. I can put in that sales price, but it's probably more, to be honest. I'm just going to put in a higher sales price. Let's assume I did it on the MLS. I got the actual property. Now I'm going to just kind of highlight this text. I'm going to go to add address. I'm going to throw this in here. Now, based off this address, it'll find the estimated annual property tax. It'll find the loan on file for this property. So it's saying May 2022 for $483,000. That's what that initial loan was for, but we want the remaining loan balance. So that will be calculated using the average interest rate of the time. So it actually gives that to us here. So it says when this loan was created, the average interest rate was 6.5%. So we're going to use that in the calculator. We'll select use estimate. And now this will be put into a personalized net sheet for this person. Let's change broker fee to 5%, hit compute. And now it's going to give the net at close amount for this person. I can go to share, print PDF here, and now it's going to generate a net sheet with my information on it. If you have the premium version of the app, it'll have your headshot on it as well. If you don't, you can always download this and throw it into Canva and personalize it and put your own headshot on it. But it just might be time consuming if you're doing it for multiple addresses. So I can come back to Fidelity Total Farm, get the second address. I could have printed that first one. Now all I have to do is enter that address here. It's going to use those same numbers, but it's going to find a new estimated annual property tax, a new loan on file. Same thing, I can just do 6.5%, hit compute, use estimate. Now that's going to be placed in here for me. And now it's a new net at close for this person. Now I can create another PDF, and maybe I just do 10 of these a day over a period of time. So I can come in here. I have different options to choose from as well. That's just one of the touches. Now, at the same time, maybe there's just introduction conversations I'm having with people. So what I can do is select absentee. So these are property owners that own a property in that farm area, but they themselves don't live there. So there's somewhat of an assumption that can be created there that the person that is living there might be renting that property. So they might be people that in the somewhat near future might be interested in buying a property. So there might be people that are out there, don't know about the benefits of homeownership, how financially it could impact them. And so you can give them some information on that. So you can go back to Fidelity Agent One, then you can go to calculators. So I have absentee selected up here at the top of the screen. So now it's filtered down to just 92 records. So there's 92 homes or the owner of the property doesn't live in the property. So it's maybe rented out. So now I can create 92 rent versus buy calculators, so flyers that I can hand out to people. So what I can do is go to Zillow, for example, go to that same app area and find the average rent. So maybe the average house in that area rents for $3,000. And I think we put in $850,000. We can even change some of the assumptions. These are basically some of the default numbers that are going to be used in the calculator that I'm about to show you. So one of them is something like home appreciation. So if you really wanted to get specific with it, you could look online. Maybe even for this area, it's 5%. I think rent appreciation is higher too. So we can just change that, make it a little bit higher and show compute. And so this is going to show over an extended period of time, the benefit of buying or renting a property. So the costs in the initial phase, usually for buying, are a little bit higher because you have the down payment at 10% down, you have closing costs. But over an extended period of time, it's just not even close how beneficial owning is compared to renting a property when you have mortgage interest deduction, you have appreciation, you have a fixed payment, versus rent is just going to be continuously going up year after year. So now I can create a PDF of this calculator. This is based off the numbers that I put in. They also have other options. So this is a good one here, owning versus renting. In 10 years, you'll save $260,000 by buying a property. Rent costs, buy costs broken down for you. And I can download 92 of these, print these, hand these out to these 92 people, start having conversations. It's important to note that the name of the person in here is the property owner. So it's not going to be the name that's given as the renter. Absentee, even though it's absentee, the name is associated with a property owner. If you do buy the emails within the system, it actually will give you the actual tenant's name that it's able to find for the email or phone number. So that is somewhat of a workaround to get the tenant's actual information, their name, their phone number, and email. And so I can do that through another means. I won't do that in this video, but that's just another touch for you, for easy farm touches to start having conversations with people in your neighborhood. So maybe you've done that in the first quarter of the year. You've had some conversations with people. Now you want to give them a general market update, some stats, maybe some comps of what's sold in their area. So I can generate that really easily within this farm as well. So now I'm just in the same farm, and I can go to the share button over here at the top right of the screen. And then I can go to trend report. And this is going to give me some nice, super basic stats that I can give to people. And it's going to give me for single family residences, condos, total sales, the number of sales, the comparison year over year from last year to the year before based on the average list price, the average sales price. This isn't as specific as you could be because this is all of Long Beach. So this farm, all the addresses are in Long Beach, but it's a very small pocket of Long Beach. So the stats here are also going to be connected with stats closer to the water and other parts of Long Beach. So if you're really trying to give super accurate data, this might not be the best way, but if you're just looking for easy things to be able to print out easily and have conversations with people, and the specificity of the data doesn't really matter as much to you, you can use something like this. And now I have these stats that I can use whenever I want, basically, and download and hand out to people. And on top of that, I can create a package whenever I'm doing this using a comp report. So I can go to this share button once again, and then I can select comps report. And this is going to give me all of the sales in Long Beach that have taken place basically in the last month. So basically the month of May. These are all of the sales. All of the ones that have a house icon were sold off market, so they weren't on the MLS. So good information for you to give to people. And what you could always do too is highlight properties that are on this list that were somewhat near or in that farm area that I created and point that out to them. But same thing, now I have the ability just to print these out and give them to people. And now I have another touch that I can do. And those are some major touches that you can do, obviously, quarterly. Just give net sheets, trend reports, and comps reports to people. But there might also be smaller touches that you want to do during the year, but you don't want just to have nothing of value to provide to people. So it's nice as Fidelity Total Farm also has those touches for you. So one that you could do is a home anniversary. So maybe you want to reach out to people when it's the anniversary of them purchasing their home, and you just want to say congratulations, just check in and see if they have any interest of selling in the future. Maybe you can give them another market value update, send them a net sheet on top of that. So you can always do that. And so I can access who has a home anniversary. I can select farm filters. Then I can go to filters right here and select anniversary. And so now this is going to give me, in this case, the 37 people that have a home anniversary coming up this month. So sometime in the past, they bought their property in the month of July. So I can actually go to sales date, which is, you have sales price, then you have sales date here. So all of these properties in the past were bought sometime in July. So some of these people, it's more recent. Other people, it's further back. You can actually create a filter on top of that for length of ownership. Maybe you're looking for people that just have a 10-year home anniversary. You can create that filter as well. But so now you have 37 people. And maybe if you're looking for an easy way to do handwritten cards, Fidelity Total Farm does connect to a system called handwrite.io, which will actually create automated handwritten cards written by a robot for you. They look really realistic. There's a link in the description to a full video where I break down how to do that for the same exact example case. So how to do this for home anniversaries and generate it with this system. So what you can do in theory is export each month this list of people and come into third party, handwrite.io. I can upload that list to handwrite.io here under my contacts. I went on Canva and just created this. And I just said, happy home anniversary to 10 amazing years in your property. And on the back, I can just have a handwritten note. Check the link in the description if this is something you want to implement. Really easy to do. I break it down step by step. Another easy one on top of home anniversary, trend reports, comps reports, seller net sheets would be homeowner's exemption. So you can click this tab at the top of the screen. Now this is broken down to 232 records of that total, which I think was somewhere in the 600 range. And this is going to give you all of the people that haven't filed a homeowner's exemption. And so what that does is it reduces your property tax amount by $7,000. Not a ton. You might be saving a couple $100 a year, but for you as a realtor, this is still a valuable thing that you can give to people and let them know about. For a lot of people, they have no idea what a homeowner's exemption is. They don't know how to file it. And so what you can do is obviously with learning what a homeowner's exemption is on my YouTube channel, I have that link in the description as well. You can reach out to these people, let them know they don't have their homeowner's exemption filed, and you can be the one that can help them to do that. Once again, it's just an easy conversation for you to build trust with people. It might not be the thing that gets someone to sell their home, but down the road, if you're able to build that relationship, you can be the realtor they trust and want to turn to in times of need. Another one you can do, somewhat similar to homeowners exemptions, are Proposition 19. And so basically there's a certain subset of homeowners that are eligible for Proposition 19. These are people that are 55 years or older, largely in most cases, also victims of wildfires or other natural disasters. But in this case, Fidelity Total Farm will somewhat allow you to filter for people that are eligible for Proposition 19. Basically, the ability to transfer a low property tax assessed value to a new property as long as they're 55 years or older. Once again, a full playlist on this on my YouTube channel. But what you can do is select farm filters here and then filters. And I can filter for people that have been there for 25 plus years, kind of working in two ways. If they've lived there for 25 plus years, they're probably 55 years or older. Most people, I'd have to imagine, bought their property somewhat near 30. It's not going to work 100% of the time. There's going to be some people that bought it earlier than that. But the other nice thing with this is living in a home for 25 plus years, assuming they haven't done anything crazy to trigger a reassessment, they probably have a really low assessed tax value relative to their property value. Because when they bought the property, it's worth a lot less. And I can even see that for some of these. So I can go to the sales price. Some of these people, $21,000, $164,000, $32,000, $104,000. These properties might be worth closer to $800,000, $900,000 at this point, but their assessed value lags way behind that market value. So it's advantageous for them to sell their property using Proposition 19, be able to take this assessed value to a new property, even if that new property is at a higher value. I'm not going to go super into the weeds on Prop 19. If you want more information on that, let me know. But once again, we have material to help you with this. So if you actually go to lunatitle.com, if you go to resources, you can go to educational flyers here. You can even search for, I think it's under proposition and law. And then we have Proposition 19 in brief, or a detailed flyer that you can just click on, have access to. Another nice thing too is we have a Proposition 19 calculator. So let's say you're door knocking, you get familiar with how Prop 19 works. You can make the rounds using the Total Farm door knocking app. Check my YouTube page if you don't know how that works. And what you can do is basically go through and create example cases for each of the people you're door knocking to. So you can get the assessed values for each of these people. So the assessed value here, you can plug that into a calculator for this person at $107,000. You can use their current market value here. So let's just do a quick example. And let's say they sold a property at $850,000. Maybe they bought a new property, bought their dream home for $1.25 million. And it shows them if they don't use Proposition 19, they'll be paying $15,000 annually in property tax versus using Prop 19, they might be paying like $5,000 to $5,500, so a savings of $10,000 a year. Something valuable, once again, that you can bring to the table, position yourself as a real estate consultant, someone that values them, wants to help them, give them information that's of value to them. So that's another touch. And the final touch, this would be people that might be eligible for an ADU. So maybe some people are looking to ways to add value to the property. Maybe it's not going to be something they sell in the near future, but down the road, still, you're the person that has brought something valuable to them. So a Fidelity total farm filter that might work for this would be Renovate. And so what Renovate provides is all the homeowners, in this case, is pretty much all the farm meet this criteria. But it's properties that have a small property size in terms of the house relative to the actual land square footage, so the lot square footage. So in this case, this lot is 6,300 square feet, while the home is 1,000 square feet. So they have a lot of space in the backyard, which means they might be able to put in an ADU, which would provide tremendous amount of property value. Once again, if you go to lunatitle.com and then you go to resources, we actually have an ADU section that goes into an ADU grant program as well as an ADU handbook. So this is something, once again, you can just download for free. If you know how to use Canva at all, you could really easily change this and put your headshot on this initial page, make it personalized to you. If you need help with that, let me know. This also goes into an ADU grant program that you can link into, but ultimately give other people information about. So those are some farm touches that will just allow you to have conversations with people and come from a position of value. I think those conversations come a lot easier. For me personally, they're more comfortable if I'm providing something that's helpful to the other person instead of just trying to get their contact information and just trying to get them in a database. So if you have any questions about how any of these work, or you want to go a little bit deeper in the weeds, I have videos on my YouTube channel for most of these things. You can always leave a comment on this video. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm happy to respond in the comments as well. Happy to help anywhere to hopefully help your business grow.